I'm going to speak first. So just to introduce myself, my name is McMenamin, and I'm the chairperson of an organisation called Parents for Children. And I actually set this organisation up 6 years ago now, just after the 2006 Fianna Fáil Ardèche, when Bertie Ahern informed the Fianna Fáil party gathered that he was going to bring forward a referendum on the rights of the child. And as soon as I heard that, immediately alarm bells started ringing in my head, because at the time I said to myself, sure, this is not about children's rights, this is going to be about giving the state rights, the state total control over children. But having set this organisation up and researching more into it, I actually found that it was actually even more sinister than that. That it wasn't, that the fact that it was taking rights away from parents and giving them to the state, it was actually even, that's bad enough, but what it was actually going to do was that it was going to remove from children the most important right that they have, which is the right to parental protection and advocacy. So if I can just start by saying, I don't know if any of you heard, during the week the Labour Party launched their Yes campaign, and at this launch Eamon Gilmore declared that the 1921 Constitution recognised children and committed the state to cherish the children of the nation, and so on and so forth. And then he bemoaned the fact that in the 1937 Constitution that was lost, as he called it. But I'm here to tell you that the reason why the 1937 Constitution didn't have that clause in it, it was because they realised it wasn't good enough. In 1937, they realised that the state could never be up to the job of caring for children. So in 1937, in their wisdom, they made a very fortuitous decision. They developed a constitution which gave children 3 levels of protection. So first off, we have every citizen in this country has Article 40 rights, and those Article 40 rights are not precluded from children. Every child has these Article 40 rights, which are personal rights, right? Secondly, the Constitution recognises that children, because they're intellectually immature and unable to defend their own rights, it places on parents the duty to defend and vindicate their children's rights. And thirdly, when parents fail in this duty, and we do know sometimes, parents do fail in that duty, the Constitution then obliges the state to step in and intervene and take the place of the parents. So that's 3 levels of protection that are in Bunreacht na hÉireann that children have. And that was alluded to way back by Justice Adrian Hardiman in the aftermath of the Baby Ann case, when he described the claim that children don't have rights in the Constitution as breathtakingly inaccurate. And then he went on to say that it is not true that the Constitution prefers parents over children. What the Constitution does is prefer parents over the state and its agents when it comes to deciding the best interests of a child. So what we have now presented to us in this referendum, what Eamon Gilmore wants to do, what Frances Fitzgerald wants to do, what Fergus Finlay wants to do, what Emily Logan wants to do, is to drag us all back to those dark days of the early 20th century, where children had no parental protection and were basically at the mercy of the state. They want a situation where we have, and if there's parents here in this room, I'm talking to you, they want us to have a situation where there is your child and a legal relationship with the state, and you, the parent, are written out of the picture, except as a failure. The right of a child to have their parents protect them and vindicate their rights will be gone, right? And that means that when the state, and it's not if, it's when the state starts failing your children, you, the parent, will be able to do nothing about it, because the state and the state alone will be the final decider of what your children's rights are. And I want you to think of that very seriously, because this will be one of the most seismic shifts in the protection of children, that parents will now no longer be responsible for defending their children, for protecting their children. It will be the state. And the state will make a very, very bad parent. You know, that this whole thing about polls is, you will find in any referendum, people who go to the trouble of looking at the issues and researching it will come to their own conclusion and decide that no is the way to go. And people who are on the websites, on journal.ie, are all people who know what the issues at hand. But the unfortunate thing is that for the public out there, who mainly get their messages, their information from the media, the mainstream media, are just being drip fed what they're being told, that, you know, you're voting yes for children, if you vote no you're against children, and this is all very well and good, which is why this is a David and Goliath struggle. It's, you know, all the other referendums combined, the Lisbon referendum, the Nice referendum, in actual fact, they pale in significance to the importance of this referendum, because, you know, your country is very important, but by God, these are our children, these are my children.
I mean, they
we're
took our
talking
money,
about.
they took our jobs, but these are our kids.
So the thing is, what we have to do is get as much information to the parents out there, what this amendment will do to their children, the disadvantages that it will bring to their children, and make it so they know that this amendment is not about children languishing in care. It's not about children in foster care. This referendum is about your child and your child alone. And that's the only way, if we're going to win it, it's the only way we can win it, is to bring it home to the parents of this country, of this nation, that this referendum is about their child. And that's what it's about. And that's why I need to get as many. I've only 26,000 of them. But if I can get as many of those into the hands of parents as possible, you know, even if we can, which it's one, if it's a very tight margin, even the shock waves that'll send through the corridors of power, you know, because at the end of the day, parents love their children and they will do anything for them. And if they can be convinced that this amendment will endanger their children, we can deliver some sort of a victory, even if it's a Pyrrhic one.
Welcome you to